What is up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast, here to go over UFC Vegas 92, Edson Barboza versus Lerone Murphy. Now, we're coming off another winning week of bets. So our bets went 2-1 for 1.7 units profit. We had Derek Lewis for 3 units to collect 2. We won that bet. We had Veronica Hardy to win 1 unit at minus 1.25. We put 1.25 units on that, and we won that. But man, we had a terrible bet on Slava Borishev to beat Chase Super. We had 1.3 units on that and lost. Oh my gosh, he got smoked. A terrible bet, but still, our bets went 2-1 for a profitable night, making it 2 winning weeks in a row. We're looking to make it 3 straight winning weeks, create a little bit of a winning streak here on the channel. And so hopefully we can, pick our spots good on this card, man, because I think there's going to be a lot of finishes. It feels like the UFC are trying to push a lot of fighters on this card, a lot of wide favorites, some favorites that I don't think that should be that big of favorites. But yeah, man, without any further ado, let's get right into the fights. And just like last week, I'll be giving you guys what I wrote down as what I thought the money line was going to be before I saw what the actual money lines were. As you can see on the screen, we have them displayed right there. But before I did my tape study, I always write down what I think the betting lines will be for both fighters, and then obviously I study the fights, and then I see what the books are offering. And sometimes we're way off, guys. Sometimes we're pretty on the money. And on this card, we're going to be off a lot, man. So the very first fight, we have a women's strawweight fight between Vanessa Demopoulos and Emily Ducote. Demopoulos comes in as the underdog at plus 260 on the money line, and Emily Ducote comes in as a favorite at minus 340. So right away, I got to say, guys, that line is insane. That's insane to me, guys. I had this line at, let's see, I had it Emily Ducote at minus 120, Vanessa Demopoulos at plus 110. So I had it near a pick 'em. I thought it was going to be a pretty close fight. And to see minus 340 on Emily Ducote, that's insane to me, man. As far as the fight goes, I am picking Ducote. I think that she wins this fight. I actually think that she wins this fight via decision. But I wouldn't be shocked to see if she finishes, Demopoulos. In this fight, Emily, 100%, in my opinion, has the better striking, man. She has a better volume, the better speed, the better variety in her strikes. So Vanessa is very sloppy and slow on the feet. She's very flat-footed and plots forward. And she's big, I'll give her that. She's big and athletic and strong, but she's just slower, man, in my opinion, than Emily, man. I feel like Emily has way better leg kicks as well, whether it be to the head or to the body, or down low to the calves. I think that her striking, variance in her strikes is just way better than Vanessa. Vanessa, the way she fights, man, is way comfortable, in the grappling, man. She's a grappler. Her best trait is her grappling. She has very good jiu-jitsu, very good off her back, very active off her back, like we saw in her last fight. She has that Tony Ferguson, Charles Oliveira style where she's active, man. She's throwing elbows. She's not just sitting on bottom, trying to run out the clock. She's trying to get up, trying to actively score from bottom, which is good. But I don't foresee Emily Ducote being the one, utilizing the grappling in this fight. If anything, I predict Vanessa to be the one that wants to get the clinch and get this fight down. But man, it comes down to who can reverse positions in the clinch. I say it all the time with women's MMA fights, but I think Emily Ducote wins this fight via decision. I'm pretty confident she wins, but man, I'm not minus 340 confident. That's just so crazy to me, but I'm genuinely shocked that her line has taken off that far. I had it minus 120 Ducote, slight favorite. Yeah, I'm picking Ducote to win via decision, and that money line is absolutely crazy, guys. Up next, we have a bantamweight fight between Alatengheli and Kleydson Rodrigues. Heli comes in as the underdog right here on the left side of the screen at plus 125, where Kleydson Rodrigues comes in as the favorite at minus 150. So when I wrote this line down, I had it flipped. I had Alatengheli at minus 145, and I had Kleydson Rodrigues at plus 125. Because to me, man, Kleydson is just too spinny, man. I really don't like the strikes that he throws. He loves his spinning kicks, his spinning back fists. He's very exciting when he strikes, right? He's using a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and I just don't really think in what area he's going to be better than Alatengheli. Alatengheli, the one thing I don't like about him is that he seems to be well-rounded, man. I think this guy is pretty good in every single area of MMA, especially the wrestling, but it's just so weird he doesn't go to it, man. I don't like the fact that he doesn't go to his wrestling early in fights, because if you're watching Kleydson Rodrigues, man, this guy can get taken down. This guy doesn't have the best takedown defense. And I just feel like that's just such an easy path for Alatengheli, which I actually don't know if he's going to use that, man. If this is the fight, type of fight where we're going to find out what type of camp or coaches, Alatengheli has, because if they sit down and watch Kleydson Rodrigues' fights, there's just no way that they don't tell Alatengheli to go out there and grapple. Maybe, they're worried about his cardio, not being there in the second and third round, which I don't foresee being an issue. The one thing I don't like from Alatengheli is that his volume sometimes is on the lower end, and Kleydson Rodrigues is going to be the one going forward, pushing, the pace a lot in this fight, at least I assume. But I think that's just going to leave him open for a level change, man. I think Alatengheli is going to get under, duck under, and get his back, man. I think it gets him down. But, again, that's just, I'm expecting him to show a good game plan, I'm expecting him to show good fight IQ in there, and sometimes, the fighters let you down. So I had him as a favorite at -145 to see him at +125 and Kleydson be the favorite. I'm not going to lay the juice on Kleydson. I'm not going to pick Kleydson. I am picking Alatengheli, the underdog in this fight. I think he wins the decision. And up next is probably the line I got the most wrong. Not probably, it definitely is. We have a women's strawweight fight between Piera Rodrigues and Ariane Carnelossi. Rodrigues comes in as the favorite at -225 on the money line, while Ariane Carnelossi, the Brazilian right here on the right side of your screen, comes in at +185. Now, in my defense, guys, this is before I tape studied, right? Before I actually watched and reran their careers, I listed this fight as Piera Rodrigues +155, Ariane Carnelossi at -200. I was hella drunk or something, or smoking crack, because that's way wrong, man. I was super off on this fight. I was kind of in my head assuming that Ariane is going to be able to get Piera down, but it's just that she's super buff, guys. I think maybe I was just, distracted by her huge physique and always remembering how jacked she looks on the scales. And now that there's no USADA, she hasn't fought in 2 years. Maybe she comes back, and is yoked and has crazy, more output and strength and stuff, better takedown defense. But I mean, guys, she got dropped by Neon Lang in 30 seconds of her fight. That's just a terrible look. I mean, obviously she got to end up getting the win that fight, but I mean, she gets taken down all the time in her fights, and Piera Rodrigues is not bad. I did, sell her a little bit short when I made that line. She's good, man. She's skilled. She's quite quick on the feet. I do like her speed on the feet. I think that she is a better striker in this fight. Ariane Carnelossi, to me, is just someone that is strong and is out physically, imposing on her opponents, man. If she can get you down and knock you out with a one-punch shot, I really don't see how she wins this fight. She's not gonna have volume. She's not gonna have the technique on the feet to outclass Piera Rodrigues on the feet. She's gonna have to catch her slipping and just slip one clean shot, because she does have power. She's big and jacked, like I said over and over again. Or win this fight via control time on the ground. And I definitely don't think that she has the cardio to do that. And I definitely think that Piera Rodrigues could be the one taking Ariane down if she's smart, man. When you're that big and tall, grappling is just one thing that you can't make up in a short amount of time. And Carnelossi has shown she has very bad takedown defense. And Piera Rodrigues, capable striker and a capable grappler. I don't see how she loses this fight. It's women's MMA, though, at -225. I was very wrong. I had this line flipped. I had Carnelossi the favorite, but I was wrong. I'll admit it. I don't know what I was thinking. And yeah, Ariane hasn't fought in 2 years. She's had a really long layoff. And now there's no USADA, so I definitely have my I'm hesitant to go out and parlay or bet Piera Rodrigues in this fight. But I'm gonna pick her to win this fight. If I swear, man, if Carnelossi wins this fight, I'm gonna be so mad, because I originally had her as a pretty big favorite. Yeah, so we'll go to the next fight. Up next, we have Abus Magomedov taking on Warley Alves in a middleweight fight. Abus Magomedov comes in as a favorite at -275. Warley Alves comes in at +225 as the underdog. Now, when I lined this fight pre-studying this fight, I had Abus. I expected him to be the favorite at -185. Warley Alves at +140. So I was a little bit off, a little bit wider than what I was expecting. But I do agree. I do think Abus should be the favorite in this fight. I think that he will finish this fight, actually. Warley Alves, to me, is just someone that should not be fighting at 185. He's definitely a welterweight. I don't know why he's gone up to middleweight. I'm kind of confused at why he's doing this. This is going to be his second fight at middleweight, back-to-back, and he got finished in his last fight. And I just don't think he's going to be able to match Abus Magomedov on the feet, man. Abus, for as much as people want to talk crap about him and how he gassed out against Strickland, he looked good for the first little bit of that fight, man. This guy definitely has, at least 5 minutes of looking good in his fights. I know Kyle Brawler also beat him after that fight, but, I mean, this guy is very explosive, very quick on the feet. Doesn't seem to be the best grappler. I'll give him that, even though you see the name Magomedov and you think he's a Russian guy, but he's actually from Germany. And you would think he's wrestled, but he's a striker, man. This guy's a kickboxer, very powerful. And I just think that he actually does have quite a bit of power, man. I'm still not completely sold that Abus is a bum, but I am completely sold that Warley is totally, washed up, man. This guy's fallen on some hard times, losing to people like Nicholas Dalby. And other than the leg kicks here, I really don't see where Alves has the advantage. Maybe he can outlast Abus and let Abus gas himself out the way Strickland did. But it's a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight, and I think Abus is just going to put him on him, man. I think Abus wins this fight. I think he bounces back, right? After getting his first initial win against Dustin Stolfus, we 0-2, looked really bad. But those are step-ups in competitions, man. Now, this is definitely a step down in competition. I think the UFC is taking care of their boy, and they're going to give him a winnable fight here. So give me Abus Magomedov. I'm going to go Abus Magomedov knockout, actually. I think he does get the knockout. I think he does finish Warley Alves in that small apex cage. Give me Abus Magomedov to win that fight. And up next is the craziest money line I've ever seen in my life. We have a women's bantamweight fight between Tamires Vidal and Melissa Gatto. Now, when I lined this fight, guys, I had Tamires Vidal at +105 and Melissa Gatto at -130. I was way wrong, guys. It's -370 now for Gatto, the favorite, and Vidal +275. That's crazy. Listen, do I think Melissa Gatto is going to win? Yes, guys. Do I think that she's a better fighter? Yes. Do I think that she's -370? I don't think so, man. Like, Vidal, like, she's not the best fighter, right? There's actually not one single area that I think that Vidal is good. Like, other than having freaky power, like, she's bad in the clinch. She can't grapple. She's off her back a lot. She can't get up. She has low output, kind of sloppy and like lumbering on her feet. She telegraphs her shots on the feet. She can get beat to the punch. All you gotta do is be quicker to the punch than her, and you should be fine. She's pretty loopy with her shots, but she's big and strong, and I will give her that. And Melissa Gatto is going up in a weight class here. Don't know why she's doing it. Going up to bantamweight here, so I'm gonna be interested to see how she handles that weight. You know, that difference, man, because Vidal's gonna be strong, man. She's a pit bull. She's a dog. I'll give her that. She's strong. But Melissa Gatto is a better fighter. She's a better kicker, better puncher, better grappler, more cardio, better experience. I mean, like, this is crazy. Like, I get it. Like, she should be the favorite. She's gonna win. Like, I think she's gonna win this fight. But -370, you're asking a lot, man. Like, I don't know who pushed it that far. Like, earlier in the week it was -450, and it came down. So at least a little bit of money came in on Vidal, which I get at least. Like, maybe take a flyer on Vidal if you're gonna bet. If you're like a $5, $20 better. I mean, it's not the craziest bet, but man, I don't know. Melissa Gatto is gonna have to go out there and absolutely crush Vidal and finish her in that fight to cover a -370 price tag. And I don't see that happening. I think that she's a better fighter in every single area, like I said. But I just don't really see her dominating and getting a finish, man. She's like I said, the smaller fighter. But yeah, I mean, Tamires Vidal has not done anything to show me that I need to be putting money on her or picking her, you know, in general. But so for that reason, I'll give it to Melissa Gatto. But like I said, guys, that money line is absolutely insane. Now up next is a fight I'm gonna skip. We have a light heavyweight fight between Umar Sy and Khaos. This is actually a replacement fight. I know a bit about Sy, even though he doesn't have a picture on the screen, which is kind of funny. He's actually not bad. I know it says he's 6'5", but I'm gonna be interested to see him weigh in because I do think he's a little bit shorter than that indicates. He's pretty good defensive grappler, pretty good offensive striker. Actually, he seems to be knowing what he's doing in the grappling as well. I've seen him wrist ride a couple of people. Has a Dagestani handcuff, so he's not like a complete, you know, fraud or anything. I think he's gonna be a good prospect, but I have no idea who this other guy is. Khaos, I believe Omar's fighter, like pulled out like a few days ago. This is Wednesday, so I think he pulled out on Monday. So Khaos is gonna be in there on less than a week's notice. So I have no idea about this guy. I don't know anything about this guy. So they don't even have a money line up on the screen right here. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, I have no opinion on that fight. I can't tell you. All I know is that Sy is actually pretty good. I'm looking forward to him. I would imagine that they want him to win and then fight on that France card. But yeah, I'm just gonna completely pass. I guess my pick is Sy because I have no idea anything about this other guy. But yeah, man, complete and utter pass on that fight. And the last prelim of the night, guys, is another setup fight, big time setup fight. We have Victor Martinez in a lightweight fight taking on Tom Nolan. Victor Martinez comes in at +350. Tom Nolan comes in at -500. And now when I lined this fight, looking at before pre-tape study and everything, I lined it at -250. Tom Nolan at +185. Victor Martinez. And maybe that is a little bit short. Maybe Tom Nolan should be a wider favorite. And I do agree. -500. I mean, you guys know how I feel about those wide lines. Like, that's crazy, right? We're like, holy crap, that's crazy. But guys, like, I actually do think that Tom Nolan this time will finish Victor Martinez. Dude, Tom Nolan's this up-and-coming prospect, undefeated prospect, goes out there and makes his UFC debut against Nicholas Mona and gets knocked out in like 40 seconds. It was crazy. Nicholas Mona has very like legit and, you know, power, and I'll give him that. Definitely can't deny Mota's power. And Mota can, you know, really crack, you know, inexperienced guys early here. And that was just a tough look, man. He got brutally knocked out. Like, Tom Nolan got slept bad, dude. Like, he came into the UFC and immediately got slept by Mota. And he was like -350 in that fight. Huge favorite, right? Supposed to be like this up-and-coming like showcase of fight or whatever. And then he goes out there and gets finished. Now the UFC is like, all right, what do? We give him Victor Martinez, the guy that got finished by Jordan Monkey King Levitt. If you're getting finished by Jordan Levitt, you are banished from my bankroll. I will never pick you in a fight. And that's it. Sorry, bro. Like, I'm sorry about it. Like, that's just a terrible look. Give me Tom Nolan. Like, I know Levitt ended up finishing with a knee, but I definitely think that Tom Nolan's hands can do the job here. Victor Martinez, not that good. Not high on him. Like I said, guys, he got finished by Jordan freaking Levitt. If you want a bigger red flag than that, I don't think you'll ever find one, man. So give me Tom Nolan to win this fight via knockout early in this fight, maybe round 1 or round 2. If you want to get super greedy, take Tom Nolan round 1 KO or Tom Nolan round 2 KO, and maybe that will take you off the -500 money line. He's the biggest favorite on the card, so you're gonna have to find a different way to play him. I don't think you should parlay him. He's been proven to, you know, let people down. He's a huge favorite last fight, got knocked out. So still doesn't have a UFC win, but I think he's a skilled fighter, man. I like the striking, and I don't think Martinez is going to be able to get him down. I think Nolan keeps it upright and sleeps him. Now it's time for the main card, guys. We have a women's strawweight fight between Luana Pinheiro and Angela Hill. Pinheiro comes in at plus 125, and Angela Hill comes in at minus 150. Now, when I lined this fight, I had it dead even pick up minus 110 both ways. So, in theory, there is no value, in my opinion, on Angela Hill at this point, and there is value on Luana Pinheiro. But I do think that Angela Hill is going to win this fight, and I wish we had a better money line. I do not like paying juice here in this spot on Hill in a fight where I do think it's going to go to decision. I think it goes all 15 minutes, and I think we're going to need the judges. And Angela Hill is notorious for losing split decisions. I don't know why the judges don't like her style of fighting, because I think that she's very talented, man. She's very good in every single area. She's actually a really good defensive grappler. We saw her survive against Mackenzie Dern. She can be susceptible to the judo throws, which is a huge red flag in this fight because Luana Pinheiro has very good judo. But she has good cardio, man. She's very durable. That's one thing I really like about her. She can wear damage good. She's gonna go forward the whole fight. She's not quitting in herself, but she is getting up there in age, guys. She's almost 40 years old, still fighting in the UFC, and she's almost a 500 MMA fight, man. She is 16-13. That's absolutely crazy. And Luana Pinheiro is not bad, guys. She is good. Very quick, very deadly kicks to the body. She can get that foot up very fast, and very good judo throws, man. This girl's a judoka who definitely knows her stuff in the clinch, and I love a good judoka, man, especially in women's MMA. I love seeing an Uchimata off the cage. It's my favorite thing to see. That and a liver shot, are my favorite things to see in MMA. And this should be a very good fight because a lot of times in her fights, Angela Hill does find herself in the clinch, and usually she is the one winning those exchanges, getting in, making those fights dirty. But like I said, Luana Pinheiro is very smart and credentialed in the clinch. She's a good judoka and knows judo well. That reminded me of that meme, but yeah, it's going to be a close fight. I think that Angela Hill does eke it out. Luana Pinheiro just doesn't have the experience, but that doesn't mean she can't win this fight. Just because she hasn't fought, higher level competition doesn't mean that she can't take that next step, and then finally beat someone when she does get the opportunities like someone Angela Hill. I just don't think she will. This is a tough one, guys. I am torn. I really want to pick Luana Pinheiro. I'm going to pick Angela Hill, and I really want to bet Angela Hill, but I can't because of that money line. So hopefully if somebody comes in on the Luana Pinheiro, pushing Angela Hill's money line down. And if I do get crazy, if I'm feeling wild, I might take a bet on Angela Hill via decision, even though that's a terrible bet in my opinion because she always seems to lose when they go to decision. So I don't know why the judges don't like her, but give me Angela Hill to win a decision in that fight. Now, up next, we have a men's bantamweight fight between Adrian Yanez and Vinicius Salvador. Yanez comes in as a minus 390 favorite. Vinicius Salvador comes in as a plus 290 underdog. Now, when I lined this fight, I had Yanez at minus 200 and Vinicius Salvador at plus 180. So I did think that Adrian Yanez should be a 2-1 favorite, a pretty sizable favorite in my opinion over Vinicius because, man, holy crap, you want to talk about a step down in competition. This is it. Adrian Yanez goes from fighting Rob Font, who was his last fight? I just slipped my head. Oh, fuck. Rob Font and, the guy that just got lost to Aldo. Martinez, and those guys would kill Vinicius Salvador. Vinicius Salvador, I don't know how he's still in the UFC. This guy misses weight. He never wins, and I actually saw him fight CJ Vergara, and I don't know how he's in the UFC, guys. He's always losing. There's not one area he's good. I don't see how he's going to separate himself from Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez is a very good striker. Vinicius Salvador is very hittable and does not go for takedowns. I don't see him taking down Yanez and winning minutes that way. I don't see him winning minutes on the feet because I think he's going to get cracked by Adrian Yanez's hands. Very good clean boxing from Yanez and a very huge step down, man. Vinicius Salvador, another thing, has very bad cardio. After that very first round, he's going to look horrible in the fight, in my opinion. And that's no offense to him, but that's just the way he fights, man. That's just the way he shows on tape. And man, I'm going with Yanez, man. Minus 390, I hate it. I hate those wide lines. Even earlier in the week, he was minus 315. So even minus 315 all the way to minus 390. That line is moving, and I don't think it's stopping, man. I feel like a lot of people realize that Yanez has a significant striking advantage in this fight, and it's a significant step down in competition for Yanez in this fight, and he needs to win this fight. This is a desperation fight here. If he goes 0-3 with that third loss being against someone like Vinicius Salvador, oh man, he might get cut, man. That bantamweight division is super deep. And I wouldn't be shocked because Vinicius Salvador as well on a 2-fight losing streak, fighting for his job as well. But at least I feel like they can keep him around for to promote other guys that they want to win to beat him and promote whoever they will fight, fighting Vinicius. But give me Yanez, man. Give me Yanez to. I don't know if he's gonna finish him or not, but I think he will. I think Vinicius won't be able to keep up with the pace. I think he gasses out, and unless he gets Yanez early, man, I think he's gonna get crushed. So give me Adrian Yanez rounds 2 or rounds 3 finish, going with the knockout. Now up next is a very interesting fight to me. I really am excited to see how this one plays out. We have a welterweight fight between Themba, Gorimnbo, and Ramiz Brahimaj. Gorimnbo comes in as a minus 140 favorite, and Brahimaj comes in as a plus 120 underdog. Now, when I lined this fight, I had it. This is my closest one I actually got. I almost got this one right on the money. I had Ramiz Brahimaj at plus 115 and Themba Gorimnbo at minus 130. I was actually pretty much I was pretty in the ballpark with this one. I figured Themba would be a slight favorite. But when I watch, these guys fight, Ramiz does seem to have a path here, and it's the grappling, man. Themba off his back isn't the best. He seems to be taken down in a lot of his fights, but the more so that's bad, I guess, is that he makes really bad decisions, and he lets guys pass his guard, whether it be to side control, half guard, or full guard, or into mount even. He has very close grappling exchanges with guys that I think are worse grapplers than Ramiz, and that's the thing, man. Ramiz is a very good grappler. So it's interesting if he can get Themba into those grappling exchanges. I feel like he's gonna have success, man. It's weird though because Themba is like a guy that's like very green, right? So he's improving. You would think that he's improving. He's gotten his like outside the octagon stuff kind of figured out. His home situation. I don't know what country he's from, but I believe he's from Africa. Comes over to the U.S. Has like homeless, sleeping at the gym, all that stuff. And then The Rock comes in. Dwayne Johnson gives him a house, and they have this crazy connection or whatever. He kind of got sponsored by The Rock essentially. And I said a better gym, full time camp. And so I'm expecting to see him, improve. And I gotta bring up, guys. Ramiz Brahimaj in his last fight beat the worst fighter in the UFC history. Michael Gilmore is the worst fighter in UFC history, so I don't really rate Ramiz's last win all that good. I really don't rate any of his wins that good. It's kind of interesting scenario we have here where I do think that Ramiz has a better skill set in the area where Themba is the worst, but I do expect Themba to show improvements as a young fighter, even though he's the older fighter in this fight. He's like young in terms of his UFC run. I'm going with Ramiz in this fight, man. I will say in media day I saw Themba today, and you guys should know this too. Like, he was getting asked about his coaches or whatever, and he started crying. He started crying about how one of his coaches told him that his mom had been diagnosed with cancer a few weeks ago. But actually, a few hours ago, like 3 hours ago, his coach's mom had passed away from cancer. And he was like crying and talking about how much he needs to win this for her and this and that. So I'm like, whoa, like I don't want to get in front of that. Like that's just some other stuff. Like sometimes you can't just some guys just can't get denied on certain nights, and that might be Themba on Saturday. So he has all that in his mind and going for him, all that energy. He just wants to unleash it. So I am kind of worried here getting in front of that if I'm gonna bet Ramiz. But I am gonna pick Ramiz to win this fight. I do think he gets the submission victory over Themba. But if he does, man, I'll be happy as hell for Themba, and his coaches, man. That's a super sad story, but going with the underdog there. And up next, we have a fight between Khaos Williams and Carlston Harris. Khaos Williams comes in as a minus 130 favorite, where Carlston Harris on the right side of your screen comes in at plus 110. Now, when I lined this fight, I had it plus one. I had it flipped. I had it plus 120 Khaos Williams and minus 140 Carlston Harris. So I'm going with the underdog here. I think that Carlston Harris should be the favorite in this fight. I'm going with Carlston Harris to win this fight, and it's half and half. It's half I'm not high on Khaos Williams, and half I actually do think that Carlston Harris is good. Khaos Williams, very athletic, very explosive, very quick. Doesn't seem to be an expert in one single area. If I were to give him like his best area, I would say is his power. He definitely can crack. And he throws heavy shots, guys. He is fast. If he catches you in exchange, you're going out. There's no doubt about it. Decent output, but sometimes, man, it's also like I gotta say, sometimes he could just be frozen. Sometimes he just doesn't do anything, and it's okay being a counterpuncher. Carlston Harris, the more well-rounded fighter in this fight. He's a better fighter at putting it all together, right? Like I don't think he's a better striker. As far as finishing ability, I think that definitely goes to Khaos Williams. As far as like output, and then being able to mix in his wrestling, like I do think it's Carlston Harris. He's very long, has those super long arms, can really snatch up those head and arm chokes, those darces. And I do think that the grappling is going to be where he wins this fight. I'm going with Carlston Harris to win this fight. I think it's going to be a very close fight, but I'm just not that high on Khaos Williams. If he does go out there and get a highlight win, good for him. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that Carlston Harris wins the decision in this fight with the more variety, man. I think that he can win the clinch, get him down, and win minutes that way, or he can just try to outpoint Khaos Williams because Khaos Williams is okay being a counterpuncher, and if he's not the one going forward, I feel like Carlston Harris is going to be the one accumulating minutes on the feet and outpointing Khaos Williams. So give me Carlston Harris. I'm going with another back-to-back underdog here. Even though he's slight, small, I think I'm going Carlston Harris via decision. Now it's time for the main event, guys. Do me a favor if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We have Edson Barboza taking on Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy comes in as the favorite on the right hand of your screen. He is the minus 140 favorite. Edson Barboza, the veteran, comes in at plus 120. Now, when I lined this fight, I had it pick him, man. I had it pick him 110 both ways. So, in theory, there is slight value on Edson Barboza in this fight. And I'm picking him, man. I'm going with 3 straight underdogs, man. I didn't expect it. I didn't even really notice I did that until right now. But I'm going with Edson Barboza to win this fight. Now, listen, guys. I like Lerone Murphy, man. I feel like I'm higher than most on Lerone Murphy than the average person. Very good striker. He's very good. Very, very fast. A lot of good speed on his strikes. Very good body work. Good calf kicks. Decent get up ability. Honestly, when he gets taken down, he doesn't really go out there and try to out grapple his opponents as much. He's more of a striker, man. He's very good on his feet, very active. Good head movement, good footwork, and I like it. Dude, he is good on the feet. I will not say anything bad about him on the feet. I like his striking, very for sure. But he just strikes me as someone that just can't get to that next gear, that next level of fighters, and distance himself in fights where he should be, man. Like, that's just I want to see him take that next step. I want to see him, catapult himself into, the top 15, the top 10 with a good performance, because there's times where he just looks good, but he just can't put the guy away. He can't really, dominate the fight. He just lets his opponents back into the fight where, man, if you do that against Edson Barboza, you're going to lose. I mean, we just saw Edson Barboza in his last fight against Sadiq Youssef get absolutely rocked, pretty much knocked down in that very first round, then comes back and schools Sadiq Youssef for the next 4 rounds. And that's another thing. We've never seen Lerone Murphy fight a 5-round fight in a single time in the UFC. This will be his first scheduled 5-round fight. And if it goes to that 4th and 5th round, this will be the first time ever in his life he's been in that 4th and 5th round. Whereas Edson Barboza has a ton of main events, man. You guys find way higher level of competition. He is older, man. 38-year-old featherweight. It is worrisome. That many weight cuts in your life, man. It's got to catch up to you eventually. But I'm going with Edson Barboza to win this fight. If Lerone Murphy tries to push the grappling pace in this fight, I worry that it's going to gas him out, because he's looked gassed in 3-round fights. Now that's a 5-round fight. I don't know if he can keep that up for 4 rounds, 3 rounds, without getting clipped by Edson. But Edson, I think he can get up, even if he does get taken down. I think that he has a good enough defensive wrestling to not get taken down over and over again, and keep it upright for the most part of the fight. I think that his speed's still there. I think that his hunger to win is still there. I'm going with Edson, man. He really opened my eyes. I picked him in the Sadiq Youssef fight, but I thought we almost lost that right away. And he came back and showed heart, man. So I think he still got it. I know he's 38 years old, but Lerone Murphy, like I said, guys, he's just not someone that I've seen take that next step. And who knows, maybe he will in this fight. So it'll be a big, kind of a breakout fight for him. But man, up until you do it, I can't say you will do it. So I feel like a lot of people are betting on the potential here of Lerone Murphy, and I understand that, man. But I'm going with Edson Barboza in this fight. Give me Edson Barboza to win this fight via decision. That'll do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, man. We have an off week next week, so I'm thinking about maybe making like a recap video about the UFC, and then like maybe some hockey stuff, because by then we should know about who advanced to the conference finals. Man, huge game 6 tomorrow, Thursday, game 5 in Vancouver. That series is tied 2-2. Vancouver, I think, loses that game, but then wins the next 2, guys. So if you're gonna bet the Oilers against Vancouver, in Vancouver on Thursday. So time for the UFC Fight Pass Invitational. I'm actually wrapping up this in perfect time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Leave me a comment. Let's get those numbers up, and I'll see you guys next week. Good luck. Let's make it 3 winning weeks in a row, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.